Welcome back today. Today we're gonna have another episode, yo. Do another episode. Do another episode. You see the little Harlem Shake right there? Yeah, I do the little Harlem Shake on you know what I'm saying? Whatever. But today we're gonna be talking about the Kongo Kingdom. You know, I got some notes, I compiled them all together, and yo, we're gonna talk about it today. You know how we love to get this black knowledge every day, all day, for life. Yo, so today we're gonna be talking about the Kongo, I'm a little tongue twisted. The Kingdom of Kongo. Yo, get it out. The Kingdom of Kongo. The Kingdom of Kongo, or known as Winnie wa Kongo, was an African kingdom that was located in Southwest Central Africa from 1390 to 1914. The lower Congo River was being settled at the time around the 12th century by the ancestors of the Bakongo, or as known then as the Kongo Kingdom people, or the people in the Kongo Kingdom. And farming communities began to spring up and started to pop up everywhere. It being settled, and the soil that was around there was, which was located between the forest and the savanna area, was very rich and very fertile, and had an abundance of food. And it was very common for many people to travel into the Kongo Kingdom and to trade, and for the Kongo Kingdom to basically thrive off of the location of where they were located at, with different kind of fruits and vegetables and things that maybe other areas might not have. So by the 1400s, the farming communities were united under one kingdom, and the kingdom had a king, or they basically established a king at the time, and the king was called the Mbanza Kongo. And with the Mbanza Kongo, he created his capital, which was Mbanza Kongo, and that was the capital of where the king created that for the kingdom. And the Kongo Kingdom was then divided into 6 provinces, and at the arrival of the Portuguese, it was estimated that the Congo and all, the Kongo Kingdom and all the 6 provinces altogether had a population of 3 million people. So, Mbanza Kongo was the capital of the Kingdom of Kongo, like I just stated, and with the population of 30,000 people just in the capital alone, and some believe it was even more than that, and it sat on a cliff with a river below it, and had forest valleys around it. And the king stayed in a 1.5 mile enclosure with walled pathways, courtyards, gardens, and decorated huts. And earlier explorers described it as one of the most ruralist kingdoms in the world at the time, each province at the time had its own army and led by the governor. The Kongo Kingdom united could produce an army at any time if they all united of 80,000 men. In the battle, the Mbanza would lead the whole army, but the governors would directly, lead their individual province forces. So, obviously the king, the Mbanza, was the leader of the whole army, but then you had governors, or if you want to call them, or better known as generals, or if you know them as generals, that would lead the individual provinces. So the kingdom collected tribute and used a shell currency called Zimbu, and the Kongo controlled the harvest of the Zimbu shells. So, and that was controlled on the island of Luanda. So the kingdom, was in very much control of its own currency, and this was the currency that was used. And the kingdom had a lot of different kind of talents as far as kingdoms go. The kingdom, weaved raft, it forged plenty of metals, all kind of metals, any kind of metal you could think of, and also, the metals that you probably would know it as copper, iron, and things of that nature, and then engage in crafts such as pottery and basket making. And with this control of the Zimbu production, the surrounding kingdoms came under the Congo's influence, such as Kakongo, and many others. And by the beginning of the 1500s, it was an empire that stretched from the Atlantic coast to the Congo River, and that is a span of 3 modern day countries, from Angola to the Congo. And so then soon after that time, the Portuguese arrived in 1483, and they took Congo ambassadors to the Portuguese court and later returned returned to the Congo, and bringing back missionaries and European goods to the kingdom in 1491, as well as trying to convert people to the Christian religion, as they always do. And King Kuwu was baptized, but later rejected the Christian religion. But his successor, or the next person that came after that, King Bimbi, or his known as his European slave name, Alfonso I, made the Christian religion the official state religion. And the slave trade also began to increase because obviously I feel like, and I'm gonna stop right here for a second, I feel like if you have adopted that and you wanted to be in the Portuguese good graces, of course you would be selling slaves. So after this, like I said, the slave trade also began to increase. Slaves and ivory would be exchanged for European goods and guns, and slaves would be taken from neighboring kingdoms who would retaliate against Alfonso. And the region would become more and more unstable at that point due to this key factor that sort of just exploded the area at that time. Now, the decline of the Congo Empire was between 1568 and 1569. The Congo was invaded by the Jaga, which was a neighboring people to the Kongo Kingdom, and the Mbanza Kongo was put into exile by the Jaga. And the reason for the invasion is not really clear, but some think that it was because there was a prolonged drought in the for the Jaga people, and some think that it was the demand for slaves, that slaves were being taken from the Jaga people, and that the population was getting very low, so they were just getting very feudal and wanting revenge and just wanting to stop that slave trade. So in 1574, the Mbanza Kongo, Alvaro the first, was reinstated to the throne with the Portuguese assistance, and this was a Portuguese man that was a king of Congo, believe it or not, right? The kingdom continued to, its trade in slaves, which was further entrenched with the arrival of the Dutch. And the Mbanza Kongo's authority slowly diminished, and during the 17th century, the kingdom split into factions. And then also the kingdom would be reunited towards the end of its reign in 1709 by Pedro, which was a Portuguese man. And but after this, it never really experienced the success that it had once before, and it was just sort of kind of declining from there. So the Kingdom of Kongo, can I get this right today? The Kingdom of Kongo. The Congo of Kingdom, the Kingdom of Kongo. The Kingdom of Kongo was a very, very strong kingdom in the middle of Africa, central, western, southwestern part of Africa, but it's expanded for many modern day countries as we know them now. And it was very, very abundant. It was a very, very strong kingdom. It was a very large kingdom, and it had a very, very rich history. And that was the video today on the Kingdom of Kongo. As always, wherever you at, know your history, stay up, stay African. One love. I'm out.